Hey, it's Coach Cheese here. Just with an update. As you guys know, I'm battling cancer, and I just want to, before I get into, what my decisions are and what's been going on with me the past couple of days, because it's been pretty hectic. I need to backtrack things back to May 22nd. May 22nd, I had an MRI that was very, very important to me because, based off the results of the MRI, I would have been able to obtain the cancer medication that I was getting donations for periodically throughout the months of April and March. If I can prove that this thing was, doing work to the tumor, then I could get the drug for free. So I take the MRI, I'm feeling good, and I'm going to get the MRI results on the 24th of May. And I go to UCLA to check up on a dentist thing because as I've told my cancer doctors and and various dentists, I have a tumor here, and because of the drugs I've been taking, it has caused my gums to recede at an exponential rate along with the tumor. So I was very scared that I was going to lose my back right teeth, and I've been doing a lot of things to try to prevent that. I'm going to get into that aspect of it later because that's affecting me right now. So I go there on May 24th at 7:30 a.m. I'm at UCLA for the dentist. I explained to three different dentists that, I have a unique condition. There's a tumor here. Around 11 o'clock, we did x-rays, and everything's all good. And then out of the three dentists, the last one that I saw said I had a jaw infection. Now, jaw infection for me is a nightmare scenario because there's no way that they'd be able to, there's very little in which can be done for me surgically on that side of my face. Very little. So they said, come back today to see a different doctor at 2 p.m. So anytime the doctors want to see you the same day, it's something to worry about. So it's 11:30, and I got to come back at 2, and I need to get some food. I need to clear my mind. I'm at UCLA by myself, and I need to pick up this MRI result because I need to send this off with other documentation to see whether or not I can get this drug for free. Remember, I'm feeling good physically, by and large. I haven't been experiencing too much pain. So I'm reading it while I'm eating at lunch, and it's not saying anything about decrease. It's not saying anything about shrinking. It's not using any words like reduction or anything like that. It's just saying increased impact. But increased impact can mean a number of different things. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the tumor itself has grown. It can mean that, between January to May, there was my health was going down, this thing was growing, but since there's some of the impact of what it does to the inside of my skull, it still could be shrinking with the inside of it. So I still had hope for that. I'm still scared to death about the meeting I'm going to have on in a couple of hours at 2 o'clock. And I go and see this facial doctor, and she says, oh, it's just the x-rays. It's just a tumor that showed up in x-ray. You don't have a jaw infection. You're not in pain. There's nothing pulsating. And it upset me to no end that, there were three dentists who did not do any of their diligence, and they did not listen to me. I'm going to get into that later on in this video about doctors who listen, doctors who don't, and how important that really is. So that's the 24th, and I'm mentally exhausted. I am tired. The 25th, I get a phone call at 10 a.m. saying that because, and I did not explain this to everyone else previously, but it doesn't really matter. There's a couple other ways I could have obtained the drug, and this Hail Mary shot ended up actually working. So at 10 o'clock, I got a phone call saying that I have the drug for free. I was so happy, I almost cried. I go to the gym. And 5:30 comes around. UCLA doctor says there's been a growth. So now I have this drug for free that doesn't seem to be doing too much for me. But I'm not experiencing any pain. And there's a new symptom that's come up, but it's an offshoot of the cancer, and I'll get into that soon. But when I had the growth originally, when I had the growth in October of last year, and I had the growth in January, I was very, very aware that I'm dying on the inside. It's extremely painful. I haven't had that, and not too many doctors can explain why. So he goes on vacation, and I can't see him until the 17th of, that was a couple of days ago. And I go and see a few other doctors, and what they're telling me is that the medication is having like a shotgun blast effect on the tumor, where I need it. It's shrinking it in some areas, but it's not shrinking it quick enough, and it's not shrinking the area in which I need it, which is close to my brainstem. The tumor is tracking whatever nerve that goes to my brainstem pretty heavily. It's been doing that the past couple of growths, and it's now at a point where radiation it can do some damage. So there's not a high chance that that if I go on the radiation table, that I can lose my eye. But the problem is the radiation toxicity, and the fact that whatever happens, this is my last radiation. One thing I've been very happy with and very blessed to have is this state of tranquility. I haven't had, I've had emotional days, but I haven't had any breakdowns or anything like that. I haven't had, any, I haven't made any sort of wild decisions, based off, how I'm feeling, which, like I said, I don't know whether or not I'm psychologically strong or if I'm just somehow tricking myself into, what my reality is. And I thought about it. And if I get on that radiation table, and for you guys who don't know, is that when you get radiation, especially, you have all these weird sensations inside of your body, that there's no drug that can take those sensations away. So it also takes about 3 months for it to show up as to whether or not it's good or bad for you in the MRI test. But you'll be feeling these sensations every day, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, multiple times a day for 3 months, not knowing if it's actually hurting you or helping you. Because when you have radiation and stuff like that, what it does is it irritates and swells up the tumor first, then it shrinks it. So I'm guaranteed to feel bad for a while. And the thing is that it's a lot of precision that has to be done to make sure that everything works out okay. But when I think about it, let's say this works out perfectly, right? I lose all my tranquility. I lose it all. I lose it for the 3 months between the last radiation treatment to the MRI. And then I lose it any other time I have another weird symptom. And that can be when the seasons change, because fluid sometimes gets kind of stuck in my skull for some reason. I don't know all the ins and outs, but that's what happens, especially during the season change between winter to spring and stuff like that. I will always be worried, to the end of my life. And I had radiation. The last radiation I had was in 2014. There was a growth in 2016. Do I get another 2.5, 3 years of worrying about everything? I've decided that with this diet, I don't eat that many sugars, and I don't eat carbs, and I'm still taking this breast cancer medication. I've decided to just ride things out. I have a peace of mind that when I look at other people in the clinics and the waiting rooms at UCLA that they just don't have. You have people in their 50s, right? Worked a good job, have things, their kids in college or something like that, and they are expecting to just age gracefully. And then cancer comes and takes that all away, and there's a lot of bitterness to that. There is a lot of bitterness to that for other reasons I'm not going to get into, I don't have. I was a philosophy major in college, and I took it very seriously. I take my spirituality very seriously. A lot of people say they're spiritual just because they're too lazy to be Christians. They're too lazy to be Muslims. They don't really actually have a rule set and what they think about God on a deep manner. Not everyone, but a lot of people. I found it to be kind of lazy. I'm not lazy with mine, so it's been helping me out tremendously in these dark times. I think what I really want to say to the people who are, my friends and family who are listening, is that if we ended on good terms, then we're good. I have no intentions of having 148, going away parties and shit like that. One is very taxing on me. It's been very taxing on me this entire time since October 11th when I found out I had a tumor growth. And it may seem strange about the people who I'm probably going to start reaching out to who are more acquaintances. Is just because I'm looking for different experiences and different conversations. If the love was there, the love is there. But at the same time, I would like to give you, I would like for you to give me my space and let me have time to breathe. Because if there's one thing that any cancer patient would really, really want is to have their lives removed from that word, because it kind of becomes their identity. It really does. It's like you can't ever escape from it. So it's like I'm on house arrest when it comes to cancer. A lot of the people are in prison, and and I don't know if that analogy is the best, but you can understand enough from what I'm saying. I love you guys for your support, and I don't know whether or not I'm gonna see it past 2018. In about a week, I'm going to be as old as my dad when he has had me. But I'm at a point where everything's okay, and it seems that whenever this thing does, if it happens and things don't work out, if it does touch my brainstem, it seems like I'll be out pretty quick, and I'm actually kind of cool with that. It's better than this long, drawn-out, slow thing. You're on chemo and you lose all your hair and you can't walk, and you feel lonely. But as soon as people start talking to you, they say one extra sentence, you want them to get the fuck out of your life and stuff like that. I don't have to deal with that, and I'm very, very fortunate not to, and I'm going to keep that up. So I think this is maybe for certain family members who live kind of far away, and even though we love each other, we're not as close as we used to be. I think this is maybe a better way to communicate, rather than because for me is I have to talk about this so much. I have to think about it all the time, and it becomes very exhausting, especially when I'm always talking about the end of my life. So please, if there's love there, nothing's changed. I still love you. And if we got time, we'll hang out. Other than that, guys, God bless. Take care.